Welcome to the Nikki Rich Show. I'm your host, Miss Nikki Rich, and today we have an exciting show for you. We've been hosting our virtual book club and virtual book tour, guys, and we have none other than our featured author, Miss Sandra Kiser. So we're going to be talking with her today. She is a marketing professional, author, and Alzheimer's advocate, and she has so much experience. I would say 15 years of volunteer servicing and also 7 year of advocacy. So with no further ado, I'm excited and honored to welcome our featured book author, Miss Sandra. How you doing?
Hi, Nikki. I am doing well. How are you?
I'm so excited.
Thank
We
you.
have
Thank you for
so much
having
to
me.
share today. Yes. So honored to have you. So first I'll tell everybody a little bit about you. Where are you based out of and where are you from?
I am actually based out of Orlando, Florida, originally from Alabama, small town in Bullock County called Union Springs. Grew up there with my grandmother. When she got sick, I ended up in Detroit. So I spent the remaining of my teenage years and adulthood in Detroit. And then went to high school, graduated college, started my professional career in marketing, got a promotion, and the company transferred me to Orlando. So that's how I ended up in Orlando in marketing in the engineering construction industry.
Wow. That is truly amazing. Now, how did you get involved in writing?
I always loved to write as a child, and I would write stories. And as a teenager, I would write more poetry. And in college, I majored in English at Wayne State University in Detroit. Go Warriors! And so I stuck with writing. I love writing. I love telling stories. I love reading autobiographies. So I knew I wanted to be in an industry where I could write. But I always said, who would want to work for an engineering construction firm? And here I am. So it's been great because it's enabled me to use my skills and bring more creativity to the role. But I love writing.
And what motivated you to write The Mysterious Wonderment?
Well, that book was motivated by the loss of my mom and brother, both from Alzheimer's disease. Um, she passed in 2017. My brother passed in 2019. And then the pandemic hit like early 2020. And one of the ladies that I knew from church had presented a writing challenge. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll do it. What else do we have to do? Everyone was stuck at home. So I
Mhm.
participated in it. And she said, you can write this book in a few months. And I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. But it actually happened because you had all this time on your hands. So I outlined it. And I think it was probably about a month that she walked through it, different sessions with us. And I wrote the book. And I ended up, well, let me back up. Before I wrote the book, I actually moved from Orlando in 2016 to
Mhm.
Montgomery to help with my mom's care. And so I was there when it happened. And then I moved back to Orlando in 2020, like when the pandemic had hit, maybe around May. So I started writing the book and I thought, oh, I don't really want to deal with this right now. Cause you have to go back to your place of pain. And I was like, I
Yes.
don't want to deal with it. But God has a way of motivating you without actually saying anything. So it happened and I continued to work on it and I had a really great support system. And I finished the book and published it in November 2020. But the
Mhm.
loss of my mom and brother due to Alzheimer's and just what that looks like and things we can do to prepare ourselves, that motivated me to write it to encourage someone else who may be walking that journey.
Do you think it was hereditary?
There are some reports that there is a hereditary factors when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, because actually, my two of my mom's brothers also passed from Alzheimer's. So there is some genetic factor there when it comes to Alzheimer's.
Mm. And how did you get that strength to, want to put the story out there?
I would say it had to be my faith in God because I fought him. I did not want to do it. I'm like, let somebody else do it. And all I kept hearing was like, you are that somebody else. So
Yeah.
it had to be my faith and just knowing what it felt like and how painful and devastating it could be. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So I thought, okay, stop being selfish. You could actually help someone. I was thinking, like, who really wants to hear about it? There are so many books already written about it, but the person that I had worked with, shout out to Shaniqua Johnson, Stronger Through Faith Publishing, she helped me. She encouraged me. She said, I know what you're saying. There are other stories, and everybody has a story. She said, but nobody's story can be told the way you can tell your own story. So that
That's
encouraged me, and it helped me to realize that, you know what, even though there are hundreds of books already written, this is your story. You tell it the way you know it needs to be told, and it'll encourage those people that it needs to encourage.
And you didn't let it stop there. You also came up with another book, which is The Amazing Adventures of the Jolly Heart Squad. How did that concept come about?
That came about after I had moved back to Orlando, and I thought, man, it would be really nice to have a children's book
Mm-hmm.
to share the story of Alzheimer's in a way that's not so frightening because it's such a devastating disease and it can be difficult. So I thought, wow, I need to outline a way to share this story for kids that are like 10 and above. They could read and learn about the disease, but also not be intimidated by it.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first book, I share this story of me and one of my younger brothers when we were children. We were outside playing, throwing rocks, and we killed this frog. And my mom had warned us, stop throwing rocks. If you kill the frog, somebody's going to stomp their toe. Yes, ma'am. And so we did. And of course, I was the one who hurt my foot. But
Mm.
there's this frog. Remember the frog. So fast forward, I started outlining the book and what I thought it should look like. And I reached out to a friend of mine. She's a graphic designer, and I asked her if she would be willing to work with me on this project. I said, I have an idea about this children's book, and I know your artistic skills. You can draw, and I would love to bring these characters to life. And so she agreed. And so we worked about 6 months on what the characters should look like. And that's how that book came about. And the little girl is kind of representative of me. Uh, Pretending that her uncle has early onset, which my brother really had, but
Mm-hmm.
it's they're not true characters. So that came about in that manner. And then the frog from when we were children, I said, man, it would be nice to bring him to life. So his name is Rebittable, and that's how he came to life. I thought I need to integrate this frog in this story because I think I still have some animosity from stumping my toe as a kid, even though we were
Mm-hmm.
being hard headed. So we came up with the characters. I gave her the draft of the story. She drew the characters, and we kind of refined them, went back and forth. They came to life, and then the old adage, elephants never forget. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how our best friend Ears, the elephant, came into play. And then the frog is like the town know-it-all. And then there's fourth character, which is Doc McMice, because elephant don't like mice. So
Yeah.
actually the expert in Alzheimer's. So they set out on this journey after she overhears her grandparents and her mom talking about her uncle potentially having a problem with memory. So they
Mm-hmm.
set out on a journey to find out about this disease. And they go to this village called Cheddarville, where Dr. McMice lives. And so he teaches them about the brain and about Alzheimer's. So as the story unfolds, they become empowered and they want to know more about it and they want to educate the world, which is the premise behind that book,
I'm
awareness.
sorry. I love it. I love it that you thought of to bring it, to the children because, they need to know as well. And I love
Right.
that you did that. Have you ever thought about like having your own, like for the book, your own little stuff, characters to bring
I
it out even
have.
more?
I have. We actually, she and I talked last night. Selena Ross out
Hmm.
of Michigan. Thank you, Detroit, my friend. She and I talked last night about what's next for those characters because they have to do more. I mean, she did such
Yes.
an amazing job with them. I'm like, they can't just sit on a shelf somewhere. They have to continue on this journey to educate the world about Alzheimer's and let people know that you don't have to be afraid of it. It's a disease that's not going anywhere. So just be educated about it and just tell somebody about it and just become educated yourself so that you can help someone else.
I mean, just, with your book, I just see so much more, with this, young children's book because I can just see you, your characters to life going to the schools, talking about Alzheimer's. It's just so
Right.
much because I think it's so amazing and creative that you brought it to life. It's so amazing, to be able to just have that discussion.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Now tell me, you also have a marketing background. How has that influenced you, with your approach to Alzheimer's advocacy and even your writing?
You know, it has helped me quite a bit because some of the things that I do on my job in terms of writing proposals and just maintaining and building relationships with people. I see that in the same space with Alzheimer's. It's all about building relationships
Hmm.
because there are people that have different things to offer that maybe you don't have, or information they have that you don't know that you're not aware of. And for me, it all goes back to relationships. As you build and develop those relationships with others, then it helps you as you further, as you try to further reach your goal, because none of us can get there by ourselves. And I think those relationships matter. And you can reach out to people that maybe have a skill set that you don't have that can help you. And I found that to be the case with this book. I mean, at some of the volunteer events, I've met people from different facilities say, hey, here's my card. You should call this person or that person. And then people have reached out to me and said, hey, Sandra, did you know this? Or do you know who could help me with this? So I think it's all about relationships, building and maintaining those relationships of trust in other people and them trusting in you, knowing that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And then we just help each other.
Yes. What would you say has been the most rewarding in, writing these books and getting it out there and sharing it with the people?
I would say it's been healing and therapeutic for me, even
Hmm.
though I tried to fight with God on it. For me, it actually has been a blessing. I
Yes.
didn't see it that way because I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with this right now. I just want to crawl in a hole somewhere. But that was not the case. He didn't say, my poor child, you're hurting. Go sit down. You'll be
Hmm.
okay. He just kept, again, presenting people to me and people crossing my path that could encourage me and help me to realize that, wow, I like your idea of this book. This is going to help someone. And so I think that's been most rewarding for me, the fact that it has helped me to heal in the loss of my mom and brother, and to be able to encourage other people that I meet on my journey. Because when I tell you I have met so many people since writing the book, whether it's in the grocery store, just out shopping or walking, like I'm taking care of my mom with Alzheimer's. And I'm like, what? Everywhere I go, it's like somebody is dealing with this. And I think that's the case for so many of us, that there are so many people that are dealing with this disease. So the more we talk about it and avoid being afraid of it, the better we all will be, because we will be more educated about it and we'll be mindful of the things that we can do to help ourselves and help those who are walking that journey.
And you are a prime example of one that is being of service. Like I said, you have so many years, not hours, years of volunteer service.
Yeah.
That is amazing in itself.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It's definitely helpful. I think sometimes we think that the service that we do goes unnoticed or that it's unrecognized, but it's actually, for me, it's been about helping others. It really has. Initially, I thought, I write this book, I'll write a book and I'll be done. But it's like, girl, you don't get to stop there. You know, the work doesn't stop there. This is part of your mission. So you have to keep going. And once I submitted to God, like, this is what I'm part of why I'm here, then it became easier for me. But I had to get into that mindset, like, you know what, you don't get to tell him how you're going to do it. I was reminded about how when your parents teach you, when you accept God and you say, whatever, Lord, you want me to do, I'll do. Wherever you want me to go, I'll go. And I was like, wait, I don't get a multiple choice here. Like, no. So once I accepted, then I realized, okay, you're going to be okay. You'll get through this. So it's helping more people than you realize.
Yes. And I want to shout out to all the viewers out there that's watching and those who are going to watch the after show. I want to say hi to Miss Eleanor Nettles, Miss Pamela Shaw. Thank you guys for, commenting as well. Anybody out there, you want to show love, you can. In the comments, let us know that you're tuned in. And Miss Sandra, she is a force to be reckoned with. I'm telling you, she's doing, the work. And I'm so grateful just to have you, to be able to tell your stories and just to have you on, because being an author is not easy. We have to get on the ground and, just make it
Yeah.
happen. But you're also, pouring your heart out, giving us your all. And I'm so honored to have you on today.
Well, thank you. I certainly appreciate getting this message out, and it's Alzheimer's Awareness Month. So how timely.
Yes. Yes. And, speaking of, how can those who want to get the, learn more or bring awareness, how can they do so?
So, the Alzheimer's Association has chapters in every state, multiple chapter. If they visit um, www.alz.org, they can put in their state name, and there are local chapters for every region if they want to get involved. And now I would say start there, research that website and see what opportunities are available, and then reach out to your local chapter contacts and they can speak with you about ways that you can support, because it's not always out on the ground, like in the community. If you're
Hmm.
more behind the scenes person, that there's administrative support that you can provide to your local chapter.
Okay. And Asa Designs Detroit says, "You're always inspiring others and love you, Sandy."
That's
Oh,
Selena. That's a graphic designer. That's the person who did the artwork for the book. So thank you,
I
Selena.
love it. I love it so much. And you have the purple as well, which I love as well.
Yeah.
Representing. Now, what's next? What is next for you with these books? Can we expect any more book tours, any more, speaking engagements? What is next for you?
Speaking engagement, I'm hoping to get into some of those. I've actually been reaching out to our local libraries here, to your point earlier about getting into schools and the library. So I've made
Hmm.
some contacts there, waiting to hear back on that. I'll be participating in dementia conference in April of next year in Atlanta with Dr. Fayron Epps. She's now in Texas. She was at Emory University.
Okay.
She has an Alter Dementia conference every year, so I'll be participating in that one next April, and just making sure that I keep spreading the word on social media and getting out in the community and volunteering as much as I can.
And then where can they go and purchase your books in, if they wanted to?
They are all of the books are available on Amazon. You know, the first book, Mysterious Wonderment When Alzheimer's Disease Becomes Your Word of the Day, The Amazing Adventures of the Jolly Heart Squad, the book, and the coloring book for the toddlers so they can color and learn about the brain. It's really simplified, just kind of talks about the brain as Dr. McMice introduced the characters to them in different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
And Selena and I we are working on something else, another book with the characters. Our schedules, we're working that out so we can get going on that.
Yes. 2025 gonna be amazing. Can't wait. Can't wait. And again, I'm so excited for you. And I want to let everybody know we're not just going to stop here. We're going to keep supporting Miss Sandra and all her endeavors. She is amazing. And, we had to have her on the show today. And we're going to leave here and go to Instagram too. We're going to do an Instagram live. So if y'all on Instagram, y'all can go to the Nikki Rich Show live. We're gonna go right after this because we gotta get our Instagram. We have greatness, in the room. So we gotta bring her to Instagram. We want to take her everywhere. It's a tour, y'all. We want to take her everywhere on social media. So again, I'm so honored to have you. You are amazing. And thank you so much for being an advocate, for Alzheimer's. And again, like I said, she has so many years, of just bringing awareness, and also telling her story with her family. So please support, guys. It's important to your friends, to your family. And as she said, this month is a month. So definitely support and show love. And I thank you so much, Sandra, for being our guest today. You are amazing, and we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you again for inviting me. Always a pleasure, and look forward to talking with you in the future.
Yes, as always, you're welcome back anytime. And again, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the Nikki Rich Show and Miss Sandra today. Um, Head over to Instagram, guys, the Nikki Rich Show on Instagram, TheNikkirichShow. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much.